Hey, I was waiting for Instagram to let me know that this stopped trying to reconnect, but how are y'all doing? This is Miss Royal Green Sessions with the weekend reading, and we're doing something a little different because I got to curl my hair for this event tonight. So, what I'm going to do is shuffle the cards while I'm in my bathroom curling my hair, and then I'm going to discuss the breakdown for this weekend reading while I finish that, okay? So, we're using the Every Little Thing You Do Is Magic mini deck. And you can go ahead and take a few moments to do some deep breathing. You know, call on your guides or whoever it is that you connect with and resonate with. I'm usually sitting down, so this is a little different for me too. Hopefully you guys have had a really good week. What I will say about the energy so far going into this weekend that I'm picking up on is that this is a time of being really honest with yourself and with the people in your life. I know that we're approaching this Libra full moon coming up on the 11th, and this has a lot of connections to relationships, but there's also a Saturnian feeling with this moon because we know that Saturn exalts in Libra, and I happen to have an exalted Saturn with my Saturn in Libra as well, and I'm especially feeling the intensity and the rawness of how direct and how clear communication needs to be right now with my loved ones. And it's really in a healing way, though. It's not in a very brash or very curt way. I know that the opposite of Libra is Aries, so there is the potential for that to be a thing for you. You know, if that's just the way things need to come out, that's just the way things need to come out. But I will say brutal honesty, or just even just really it's just honesty. The delivery is the delivery, but I would not be surprised if there's intensity around the ways in which we're communicating with the people who are closest to us and in our interpersonal relationships. All right, let me get the shuffle on, see what we got for the weekend. Okay, we got two cards that just flew out already. All right, so the first two cards we have, is Oracle of Swords and the Three of Swords. If y'all can see that. All right. It's kind of already hitting on this little honesty. Let me see if I can start off with one more. Ooh, Ten of Swords. Let me see. Let me see if we get a little bit more on that. It's a lot of swords. Anything else before I get started on interpretation? Yeah. Okay. I like that. So I didn't know if I was going how that was gonna go for y'all. Now I gotta figure out where to put everything. Let me do it. Okay, so following the Oracle of Swords and the Three of Swords, we have the Ten of Swords. But then we have the Sun, which I love that the Sun came out at the end of this reading, at the end of those cards, because again, this is about, and the swords represent air. Libra is an air sign. Again, we're approaching this Libra full moon. So with all these swords coming out, and we even have, I'm just looking at this again, we even have the moon in the background for this Ten of Swords card. And what I'm really picking up on is, again, that brutal honesty energy with this Three of Swords. You may have to have conversations that might be painful, that might hurt other people, or that may bring up a lot of emotions for you. I think that clarity of mind is really important here. But with the Oracle of Swords is representative of the Queen of Swords. So just know that this is a necessary, which is a Libra card actually, but this is necessary conversation. This is a necessary clearing with all of these swords. Wielding the swords with wisdom is what I'm feeling is paramount right now in order to get to the sun energy. This is a clearing so that your soul can shine through, so that your authenticity can shine through. This is about fighting for your authenticity, or I'm saying fighting because there's some resistance with the energy of the swords, but it's when we think about clarity and communication with the energy of air, right? Clarity of mind lets you know how you need to move. It lets you know what you need to say and how you need to say it. I would say don't hold back this weekend from necessary conversations. Don't sugarcoat anything. Don't feel like you have to spare anyone's feelings. There's a way that you can go about it without placing blame if you're at that level or if you're at that phase in your life. But you may just need to have a blowout at the same time, and there may need to be hurt feelings that come up. There may need to be things that have been left unsaid in the past that need to go ahead and be said in the present. And it may have some ties to the past is also what I'm feeling, which is why there's all this clearing energy coming through with the energy of this particular spread with the sword. Um, yeah. And some of these things are things with this Ten of Swords too. Look at how you've done some of this or giving yourself some of this mental anguish. Some of these things we've done to ourselves. Some of these things we need to take accountability for. And even though other people were involved, it doesn't negate our responsibility to the consequences of our actions, in so many words. And, especially if you're dealing with things or if things are coming up from your past that say are from your childhood or when you were a teenager or any time before your brain and your frontal lobe was fully developed, give yourself a little bit of grace there. Because again, you were learning. There may have been situations where the people who have more experiences in your life, who are around you, who are supposed to be your support system, could have showed up for you in different ways, or you may have felt that they could have showed up for you in different ways. But also understand that those people were where they were. It doesn't excuse behavior, but it does give you a fuller perspective of what the truth actually is of the matter. Now, if you were just dealing with abusers or, people who just were unhinged off their rocker and, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Coming at you in a nefarious way, we're not excusing abusive behavior, whether that be verbal, physical, or emotional, financial, otherwise. But we will give grace to those who we know tried their very best with where they were and did what they could do based off of the ways that they felt were best for us. I think those are the people that you extend that type of grace to. Um, but yeah, also with the Oracle of Swords, the Oracle of Swords, Queen of Swords energy, she really doesn't play around. Like, she's very clear on her boundaries. She's very clear that her boundaries are what keep her so clear and intuitive. So, and she's keen on protecting her peace of mind. So this is the energy of protecting our peace of mind. Whatever healing that you may need to address inwardly, whatever mental anguish that you're moving through or emotions that are coming up from just mental pressure and things like that, go ahead and let it happen because it's going to benefit you in the long run. And for the sun to be the card that comes out at the end of the reading, I feel like is very telling. Okay, look how brightly the sun is shining in this image too. And there's a unicorn here. Unicorns are representative of strong and keen intuition, of mysticism. Okay, it's a mythical creature of awakening. So I would say let's consider that. Hold on, before I take another piece of hair down, I want to shuffle and see if there are any more messages that want to come through for us for the weekend reading. Thanks for multitasking with me today. I got things to do. Let's see. And my phone is just going off while I'm doing this for y'all too. I will check that later. All right, we got 3 more cards that wanted to come out. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. We have the 7 of Wands, the Oracle of Wands, and the Death card. So don't let the Death card, intimidate you. It's necessary. Transformation and change are necessary. So with the Oracle of Wands, or the 7 of Wands with the Oracle of Wands, this is about standing your ground and not letting other people's opinions and impressions be swayed. Your feelings are valid, your story is valid, your experiences are valid. So when these conversations are happening, if you're dealing with people who like to project and gaslight and things like that, don't let it slide. that's not relevant to your healing right now. That has no space here. Be confident enough to stand in who it is that you are. Stand in how you know you've experienced your experiences. Don't let anybody try to tell you that it wasn't what it was, because you know what it was. And be empowered in that. Know that your truth is truth. It's not something that you fabricated. This isn't something that you made up. um, and the death card, at the end of that, and having the sun card, this is major transformation. This is profound healing. This is change for the better and for the growth of your life and for our lives this weekend. So um, there could be a little bit of heaviness, but I feel like overall with the sun coming out, it's going to be, um, there's fulfillment involved at the end of this. So good for us. I know I've already pretty much had a necessary conversation that ended up, fortunately for me, going really well. I hope that the same can happen for some of you or for the rest of you this weekend. And I'm gonna finish curling my hair. And thank you